paralegal and mediator, and I wanted to come on live to discuss the ballots for Denver County and Arapahoe County. Now, I'm going to try to give you a balanced and a reasoned view of each issue, each candidate, and the justices. I'm going to try to be a mediator here and just facilitate what it looks like when I am doing my research. So let's begin. So I'm in Denver County and Arapahoe County by virtue of, we did a redistricting. So Southeast Denver is lumped into Englewood and Sheridan, and it embodies a little bit of Aurora, a little bit of Centennial, a little bit of Greenwood Village, Littleton, and that's House District 3. So we're voting for Congress, Denver Congress woman, either Daggett or Archuleta. And we're also voting for Marla Fernandez, me, Meg Froelich, and Mickey Neal. We're also voting for Bob Lane and Jeff Bridges for Arapahoe County Senate. So, it's kind of interesting. So today I want to walk you through the Denver Arapahoe County ballots, but I'm not going to I'm actually going to just focus on Denver for Denver 2024, because my ballot is very different than Arapahoe's ballot. So I'm going to first discuss, the candidates that are on the Denver County ballot, and then we're going to discuss the certified write-ins, important issues, and justices. The goal is to help you feel confident about all the options you have when you head to the voting booth. So, as I told some of my neighbors who are voting for Kamala Harris, I said that there's a benefit to voting for write-in candidates. If you're sick and tired of the two-party divide, two-party system, and never getting your voices heard, then write-in candidates are a powerful way to send a message that you've had enough for this status quo. And I think it's a benefit too for those who don't want to vote and they leave it blank. You might want to just write somebody in this year. That way your voice counts and the write-in candidate gets your vote. So I'm going to show you that last. But first, let's talk about the candidates on the ballot that are out on the ballot officially. So this is what my ballot looks like here in Denver. And I'm not going to tell you who I vote for. Because I'm going to actually vote in person. I believe in voting in person. I don't believe in voting by mail or dropping it off. I think it defies the purpose of our duty and also the secrecy of our vote. So while I might jot down some stuff on this ballot and just make a mental note right now, I plan to take a little cheat sheet with me and vote in person on the day of the voting when it opens at 7 in the morning. It's very important for me that it's secret. And we used to have like a little secret sheet that you kind of put the ballots in, and we no longer have that. So I'm kind of skeptical, and I don't want the government authorities to know who I vote. I mean, it's none of your business. But I'm gonna try very hard not to be biased. So let's start. Let's start with presidential elections. Now, from the perspective of the people that I live with, the neighbors, My husband's a Democrat and a Kamala Harris supporter. I hope he did vote for her. But yeah, well, I'm not gonna go there. We have a very funky household here. My son is like tries to influence my husband, so I let him influence us. But okay, so you will see the major party candidates, the Republican and the Democrat nominees. Additionally, there are several third party candidates, such as Libertarians and Green Party nominees, and in Colorado also allows for certified write-in candidates. So you do want to check the state, but I'm going to give you because I have a list of the write-ins in front of me. Actually, I forgot them over there, so I'm gonna really quickly go run and get my sheet because I did forget. So let's okay, here I'm back. So this is my list of cheat sheet for write-in candidates. Okay, on the ballot in Denver, you're gonna see Kamala Harris for and Tim Walz, Donald J. Trump, J.D. Vance, Blake Huber, Andrea Denault, Chase Russell, Oliver, and Mike Termatt, Jill Stein and Rudolph Ware, Randall Terry, and Stephen E. Broaden. Cornel West and Melina Abdullah. And then you're going to see Robert F. Kennedy with Nicole Shanahan. So Robert F. Kennedy, that's a funny one because he endorsed Donald Trump. So in efforts to be amazing, we also have write-in candidates. And the write-ins have either an email or a website. So Chris Garrity and Cody Ballard are running for president and vice president, no party affiliation. And his website is chrisgarrity2024.com. We also have Claudia de la Cruz and Karina Garcia, and they're running for president and vice president. They're running on the Socialist and Liberation Party. Their website is www.votesocialist2024. As a Cuban, I will say that I wouldn't vote socialist, but it's your decision. I am not gonna argue with you. You vote your values. Shiva Yaduriyai and Crystal Ellis are also running for president and vice president as write-in candidates. They're independent. They have no website. Peter Sonsky and Lauren Onak are also running for president and vice president as the American Solidarity Party, and it's petersonsky.com. Bill Frankel and Steve Jenkins are also running for president and vice president. They're running as unaffiliated Republicans. Now, I would probably vote for that if I'm a Republican disgruntled with Donald Trump. That way your voice, at least, is heard. There is also Brian Anthony Perry and Mark Snaby. They're running for president and vice president and they're Democrat Party candidates. So if you're a Democrat and you don't want to, and you're a Catholic or a Christian and you don't want to vote for Kamala Harris because she just slighted us, I say vote for the Democrat write-in. Now, in District 1, it's on my ballot in District 1, you're going to see Valdemar. I always get his name wrong. So it's Valdemar Archuleta and Diana DeGette is the incumbent Democrat. And then you have Danielle Lutz, and he's an approval voting person, so he's on the ballot. And then you have the Unity Critter Milton on the ballot, the Unity Party. And then you also have Charles Chuck Norris. He's a Democrat. You have John R. Johnson. He's an affiliate for District 1. So I would say that if you're disgruntled with the parties, I would choose a write-in candidate. And that sends a powerful message that you're sick and tired of the party politics and the divide from taking a side. And that way you harmonize and you're part of my movement, which is the Harmony Party. Yep, I'm for harmony. I'm for collaborative representation. So write-in candidates are grassroots people. And I think that's wonderful because they have an opportunity to be your true representative. Okay, so who else? Okay, so now let's move on to state offices. So Regent of University of Colorado at large, we have Eric Renard running as a Republican. We have Elliot Hood running as a Republican. As a Democrat. We also have an approval voter called Thomas Ressener. I have no clue who he is. We have the Unity Party, T.J. Cole. And then we also have, that's for Denver. We also have, for state senators, District 26. Let's see if we have the state senators here. Okay, so we don't have a write-in in Denver for state senators. So for state senators, we have Jeff Bridges as a Democrat. He has a lot of money. He's very powerful. He doesn't really listen, but he does listen. Actually, I have met him, and he's actually very agreeable. So my district in Englewood, a lot of the neighbors know him and they like him. That's what I've heard. And I can't say anything bad about him, other than the fact that he's Democrat and he doesn't usually vote collaborative. He's part of the problem, not the solution. We also have Bob Lane. I don't know much about him because I have been staying away from the Republican Party through the campaign because they denied me the ability to run again as a Republican. And that's okay. It's okay. I'm not mad. Actually, I see this as an opportunity to bring back harmony to my district. And I have. A lot of Democrats do like me, and I'm hoping that I get their vote. So we have Bob Lane, and I've met him, and he's pretty nice, and he's pretty agreeable. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. We also have Meredith Ryan, and she's with the Unity Party. Unity to me is like harmony. So if you care about harmony and you don't want to vote for the parties, go for the Unity Party. And then let's move on to State Representative District 3. That's me. And let's look at my list. And in my list, I'm the write-in candidate. And I'm running against Meg Froelich, Democrat, who refuses to collaborate and make win-win resolutions or go across the party line to collaborate and make laws that actually benefit her district. And then we have Michaela, and she's a cute little 30-year-old girl who has no experience but is a physical therapist. And she has about 4 years of a deep learning curve. Meg Froelich has had a 3 year learning curve, and she still says that she's still learning. So will she ever catch up? I think she will eventually. But are we going to give her another 2 more years to make mistakes and to make laws that are unconstitutional? No. But are you going to also vote for Michaela, who has no experience and is going to sit there dwindling her fingers because she really has zero experience? Okay, so I'm reaching out because I ask for your support to bring real change into this district. I've walked my entire district. I've talked to Democrats and Republicans, Libertarians, and just about everybody you can imagine. And I've heard from them, and I know the issues very well. I know my district. I know what the problems are. And I'm Marla Fernandez, and I'm a write-in candidate for Colorado State Legislature, House District 3. I am committed to providing true leadership for our community that desperately needs us. And why me? Why Marla? Why Marla Fernandez? Because I have proven expertise. I, I have extensive experience as a mediator and a collaborator, and I know I love resolving conflict. And as a conflict resolution expert, I have a track record for resolving complex issues effectively. This is the expertise that our legislators need to overcome challenges we face. And I have focused results. While Mickey and Meg center their campaign on promises, because, well, Mickey, if you go to her website, she's got nothing to say because she really doesn't know what the duty and the job entails. So the only thing that I've heard from is that she's going to represent the people. Does she have a deep knowledge of the Constitution? I say no, even though she has a well scripted speech and she could tell you that she's a originalist. I doubt she really knows the complexities of law or the legal history of law because she's much younger than me, and it took me years to wrap around the legal history and the laws and everything I needed to know in order to understand how our system works. Meg Froelich, she's been there for 3 years. I focus on results. Meg Froelich has ideas, but no solutions. Her solutions are half baked. From day one, I will implement effective strategies and that directly benefit and ensure that your voice is heard and act upon it so that we have effective laws in our district. Your voice is very powerful. So I really want you to think deeply on each and every candidate. I don't want you to just vote blindly for a Democrat or a Republican or for issues that you see signs up say, vote yes, vote no. Really, really think this year on everything that's on the ballot because it really does matter, and you are voting for me. So whoever wins, I want to feel confident that your vote benefits me, and my vote benefits you. So this year, vote for change. It's a vote for a committed advocate who will stand up for you and the community, regardless of party affiliation. Don't settle for the status quo when you have the power to demand better. Take action. Join me in this movement for harmony in Colorado, for better leadership. Talk to your friends, share this message, and most importantly, write in Marla Fernandez, not Maria, Marla Fernandez, on your ballot for House District 3. Together, we can make a difference and change Colorado and perhaps change the world with harmony. And if you want to contact me, feel free to text me at 720-937-4524, or send me an email, Marla Fernandez, HD3 at gmail.com. I will respond affirmatively and talk to you about whatever issue you're concerned about. I live in the neighborhood. I am accessible. I am here for you, and I will represent you. That is what I promise, with integrity and strength and wit. Thank you for your time and your trust, and let's embrace this opportunity that to shape our community's future. Now let's move on to the next ballot item. Don't forget, this is me. Vote, raise your voice for harmony and peace, and vote Marla Fernandez this year. Okay, well, who's on the ballot next? Okay, so let's move on now to, oh my goodness, Regional Transportation District Director, District E. There's Matt Larson and Scott Liva. Now, they haven't come to my house. None of these candidates on the ballot have actually visited us. So, who do you vote for? Comment below and let me know what your choices are and why I should vote for them. How do I brush my teeth? Oh, very carefully. I have like one of those little mechanical ones that go. Okay, fine. You're hilarious. I am a star. Yes, and I want to change the world. How are you, Timothy? How are you, Kevin? How are you? My opinion on Palestine? Well, I believe in harmony, and I believe in peace. And I doubt we're going to get peace, but I stand with Israel because I don't want to go to war. But, it is their country, and they need to do whatever they need to do. And we should support our good allies that we actually have agreements with. But I am so lucky that I'm not running for U.S. Congress, because you see these gray hairs? I have more. No, I'm not voting for. I'm not running for Senate or U.S. Congress. That would be insane right now. But I really want peace, and I don't agree with war. And if I were a diplomat, and Trump were to put me as a diplomat for the UN, I would try to collaborate across the aisle and bring harmony to the United Nations and try to talk it out with Palestine and Israel and see how we could make things work. But that's my way of doing things. I like talking about it, and I love connecting with people, and it really, really hurts me when people, I feel their tension and I feel the negativity, and I can't connect effectively, and the communication just doesn't go well. But I am very bipartisan. Bipartisan. I'm very collaborative. I'm very win-win outcome, and I hope we don't go to war. So that's what I'm praying for. Okay, so then who's next? Okay, so judicial retentions and questions. We have Maria E. Birkenauer. I would say that I would vote yes for her because she's principled. She's a principled justice, and she interprets all her cases and gives a well-reasoned opinion, and it's balanced, and it actually upholds the rule of law. I really like Maria's thinking. The other one, Brian D. Boatwright, I'm on the fence. I'm like, yes and no. In some respects, I think he's pretty good. So he's done pretty good, but there was one case that I questioned, and so I'm kind of like waiting until November. Remember November 5th, V for Vendetta. I'm giving myself this time to really think through the justices and make sure that I write I vote yes and no for the correct justices. I don't want Polis making any more um, appointments. The other one is Monica M. Marquez. I vote no. She is against the freedom of speech, and I fear that voting again for her it would be very bad for our courts here in Colorado. I got through to Stephanie Dunn, and I said no because she really wasn't well reasoned. I didn't like her opinions. And Jerry Jones, I vote yes, and I got that's up to where I left off. But the way I research is like this. I go and I say I go to I think they're in Colorado Court of Appeals. So I would go to the Colorado Court of Appeals. Actually, you could Google their name. Google their name and put Jerry Jones. Let me just. And I would go, okay, appeals justice, judge takes aim at Supreme Court restitution ruling. So Judge Carl Schock speaks at his ceremony. There's an article right here, swearing January 19, 2023. At left is Judge Jerry N. Jones. And let's see this article from Colorado Politics. It says he issued a pair of almost identical opinions suggesting restitution orders that failed to comply with deadline and state law. What I would do with almost every article that you read in the newspaper is I would get the opinions and I would scrutinize what the opinion says versus what the article says. So this article says that it shouldn't. I say, here's his opinion. He ruled it in 2021. I would go to pull the case. Peoples versus, what is it? I can't remember. I would get a summary of the case and see if he interpreted it correctly. And this is what it says. Okay, so the case that Judge Jerry Jones decided the pros are enforces timeliness, so the decision reinforces the need for a timely resolution of restitution, ensuring victims receive compensation without unnecessary delay. The other pro is clarity in process. So the Supreme Court here in Colorado provided a clear outline for prosecutors and judges aiding in compliance with law. The other pro is limits to judicial discretion. By strictly enforcing the deadline, the decision prevents excessive delays by judges promoting efficiency in the justice. The cons is inflexibility on timeline. So there's a 91-day requirement that may be difficult for some complex cases, potentially preventing a thorough determination of restitution. The other con is ambiguity in legislation. There's a lot of ambiguity in legislation. That's why I'm running for office, because I'm a paralegal. And as a paralegal, I understand what makes a good law and what makes for a bad law. And so that right there um, is a good thing. And the statute's lack of clarity makes compliance challenging for judges who may need more time to accommodate both parties. So that's where we're at here in Colorado is we have a lot of ambiguity in the 600 laws that just were published this year alone. Risk of inequity that rigid deadlines could potentially lead to restitution amounts being calculated inaccurately if additional time is not granted for proper analysis. So I would vote yes for Jerry, but that's my opinion. And that's how I would reason through whether I like the judge or not. So vote carefully and really get a well balanced um, opinion on who to vote for. So this ruling encourages trial courts to abide strictly by restitution timelines, but also highlights the need for possible legislative reform to address ambiguity. So that going on next. Okay, so I'm Catholic. Here are the issues, and I have not yet finished with the justices, but we're gonna move on. Hopefully you'll research the justices just like I showed you and try to get the pros and the cons. And if you need to use AI to help you with that, use it. AI is not terrible. Just make sure that you ask the right questions. The right questions narrow. If you know law, then you'll ask the right questions, constitutional questions. Because judges, they have to interpret the law, and if the law is ambiguous, and they're interpreting it correctly, they would remand it back to the legislature. Okay, so G, Amendment G. Now I'm going to be straightforward. I'm going to vote no. And I gotta get my booklet. So this is across Colorado. Look how big the booklet is. Okay, so G. I put, after reasoning through it, 20. So I'm thinking about three that I'm thinking of voting yes. I'm thinking of voting yes for 128, and we'll read through it later so that you could help me out. Because I'm still thinking about it. And I, and the other one that I'm thinking I'm voting yes is Amendment 80. Everything else I'm voting no. And I'll tell you why. Because a lot of the laws are ambiguous. And that kind of ambiguity shouldn't go into our Constitution or any referendum. And that's the reason why I'm running as a write-in candidate. It's because we have legislators who really don't read their laws and they don't edit themselves and they don't understand how they're messing up the courts and the lawyer's job. And so I think we need more principled candidates that don't have an agenda but their own, and they can actually advocate for people. So I, constitutional bail exception for first degree murder. So the yes is, a vote yes is to allow judges to deny bail to a person charged with first degree murder when the judge determines that the proof is evident or presumption is great that the person committed the crime. I say yes, but I have my reasons. I think that in this case, it is a good deal. It is a good thing to allow the judges to at least have a say in the bails because they understand. Um, I don't know, but actually, I'm questioning it now because if you are a potential murderer and there is a possibility that you're gonna flee, I think there should be bail, but the bail should be um, high, so high that it actually burdens you to bail out and leave. So, a vote no on this amendment requires a judge to set bail for all persons charged charges with first degree murder. But a vote yes allows him to deny bail to the person. And I kind of think that you should deny bail to the person if you're a murderer. If you're a first degree felon and you have a possibility of leaving, even with a high bail amount, I don't know. So, anyways, on this issue, I'm conflicted. If you have an opinion on it, I would love to hear you out. I would vote no on J, repealing the definition of marriage. That will convolute everything. Marriage is not the state. It's not the state jurisdiction. This is actually the jurisdiction of the church. The church has makes law on marriages, and the courts right now are all like messed up. The family courts are all messed up because the legislature has been making laws, kind of messing it up and confusing the matter, so making the justices get all confused, and the lawyers are even doubly confused. And not only that, but lawyers, there's a lot of pro se people getting divorced and stuff, and I wouldn't hurt tradition. Tradition in this country was for a male and a female, and it needs to stay that way because marriage is not is a sanct. I'm Catholic, and marriage is not to be taken lightly. It's not a contract. It's a promise you make for life. And when you get married, you get married. There's a reason you get married. It's because of the natural order to have kids. And so a man and a man cannot have kids. A woman and a woman cannot have kids. I'm sorry. Science, no matter how you put it, can you cannot define. You cannot change the way the order is. If you want to be a female or a male, that's fine. You go ahead. It's your free will. It's your free choice. I'm not going to tell you no, but don't mess up the 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 definition of what a marriage is because the state has no right in this jurisdiction. It is not their jurisdiction. And they need to consult the churches in this matter because it's part of the First Amendment right. The First Amendment right protects the church right to be in society. And they have a divine right to having their protection for the First Amendment. And so the state has no basis in this area, and I would vote no. Not on the Constitution. I would, if you want, we could write law and equalize it and allow for gays to marry and allow for gays and lesbians to have, to make sure that they are allowed to have benefits from their spouse. We can write a law, but don't put this on the Constitution because it is unconstitutional. Okay, so then the other one is K. K, modify constitutional election deadlines. I'm initially I was gonna say yes because it's kind of harmless. I'm really like whatever you want to do here. Um, they're but I would say no actually because I think the deadline should be November 5th and we should just close the polls and make sure that all ballots are counted by midnight. Um, the other one is it's okay. I would vote no. 79 is constitutional right to abortion. I would vote no. This doesn't need to go on the Constitution. This could be legislated. The legislators need to legislate and need to keep. They can't ban abortion. And yes, the women have freedom of choice, but we don't have to codify abortion in in the Constitution. Why? Because we already have freedom of choice codified in the Constitution. Women do have a choice. The problem with abortion is more complex than that. And we need principled leaders who are able to answer it and actually resolve the conflict so we are not pitting each other on this issue every time. And that's where I come in. I know how to collaborate. I know how to answer the question of abortion, and I know how to have win-win outcomes in this area. So while we women have the right to choose, we women must have that right protected from third-party interference. Because right now we do have third parties interfering with our right to choose, and they're conflicting and confusing the hell out of us in our pregnancy state of mind, which is very emotional. That's my opinion. No. Vote no on 79. Okay, vote yes. I'm kind of on the fence on this one. I do like it. I would vote yes with caution. It is in the Constitution, so it is also ambiguous. So we do have a constitutional right to school choice. That is true. But in this on the ballot for this amendment, a vote yes, there's an ambiguity in it. So they're giving the right of the parents to choose to raise and train their kids and to choose the best school for their kids. But then at the same time, they're taking it away. And they're giving the right to the children to choose their school. So that ambiguity means that a third party can get in there and influence my child against my wishes for his education. And that is the ambiguity that I'm kind of like conflicted on, and I might vote no on it, even though I agree with it. So, that's my opinion. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do. We'll find out. You'll find out when I vote for in November 5th. I would vote no on JJ because it's a tax revenue, and I'm already sick and tired of all the taxes in my state. I would vote no on KK because it's also a tax, and I'm already tired of all the taxes, and it shouldn't. We don't need any more taxes. I would vote no on bobcats, lynxes, and mountain lion prohibition. Um, because you know what? That's stupid. It's a stupid. It's stupid. I just the kind of things that they put on this stupid ballot is insane. I'm gonna vote no. I'm sorry. Okay, number 28. I'm also conflicted. Parole eligibility for crimes and violence. Um, if I vote for yes, it would be to require a person convicted of certain crime of violence to serve at least 85% of their sentence in prison. Actually, being eligible for discretionary parole, or even the problem I have with this bill is that what do they don't define crimes of violence. So on that end, I probably will vote no, but I will not tell you effectively because I'm still thinking about it. Um, but a vote no means keep the current requirements that a person convicted of a certain crime of violence serve 75% of their sentence in prison. I think that's okay. 75%? They're only raising it by like 10%. I'm going to vote no. Establishing veterinary professional associations, I would vote no because we don't need any more. We don't need this. We don't need this. We don't need any more licensing. I think we should get rid of all the licensing and allow for entrepreneurship. And allow for people who actually have the talent and the skills to get into any field and learn it. School of Hard Knocks. Seriously, I know. That's the way it used to be in this country. Okay, 130, I would vote no, it's funding for law enforcement. I do agree with it, but there's also ambiguity with it. So that's why I'm voting no. So a vote yes is for directs the state to provide 350 million to fund the law enforcement. While I agreed with funding law enforcement, the state wants to put its hands in it and actually dictate diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is unconstitutional. And that's why I'm going to vote no for it, even though I agree with funding the police. It's kind of like a pork. It has too much pork. And, we don't need to get fat on pork. Establishing all candidate primaries, that's a definite no. 131, there's two issues on this 131. They want to do ranked choice voting, which will confuse the heck out of all the elections. I think the write-in candidates make a great way to take back our state. We don't need ranked choice voting. We just need the ability to vote for our candidates and the candidates to be heard. So if I were to be elected, what I would do is I would penalize the state for not protecting the candidate's right to be heard and have free coverage all across the board. Every single candidate should have free coverage from our media. And we don't right now. That's a violation of our freedom of speech and our ability to get out the vote. So 131 is a no. G is a property tax exemption. Though I agree with an exemption on tax, I don't agree with taxing our property. So a better way to handle this is end all property taxes. Stop taxing us on our property. They don't have a right. That's our property, and they need to protect it. So I would vote no on G. I would vote no on H. This is judicial disciplinary procedures and confidentiality. I already told you that I would probably vote yes on it. And then there's some more. So in the back there's the judiciary performance evaluation. I would read that carefully and vote for justices that do a good job of reasoning and research and standing up for justice. Okay. Hi everyone. Sorry, I ran out of juice. Anyways, thank you for staying up with me, and I appreciate you all. And until next time, let's talk politics. Come on, I'll probably edit another video and follow up. And you could comment below and let me know what you think and who you vote for after November 5th. Thanks. Pray for me, and let's pray for this country and this state, and let's take back the state legislature by voting for Marla Fernandez and Bennett Rutledge. So remember Bennett Rutledge and Kevin Beal and Marla Fernandez. Those are the three write-in candidates that need to be victorious. Thank you very much, and stay tuned because I'm going to have a victory party because I've ran 3 campaigns now, and I need to share my wins and my losses and have a great time at my friend's new restaurant, El Mesón de Liz. If you haven't been there, it's in Aurora, and we're going to be partying there after the election at 7 o'clock. Thank you very much, and stay tuned.